All right, you guys, welcome back. Another episode of Catch Camp Create. I just went out clamming this morning with some new friends. I got a full limit. I got my trusty Ulu knife. Pretty sure I've showed you guys how to clean clams before, but I'm gonna do it again, and I'm gonna be making some clam ceviche, possibly using the shells as a little display and as a utensil for them, or as a bowl anyways. But I'll show you what I got right now. Went out, it was about 8 in the morning, and we had a 0.2 tide, so it was pretty low. Perfect for what I needed. And I think we all three of us got limits within about, I don't know, 45 minutes or so. They're not the biggest, but they are legal. And yeah, I mean, that's all I need. I'm gonna be trying to make some food with them. I'm not gonna freeze them this time, and I'm gonna go from there. So I'll show you guys how I do it, and I'll be right back with you. So first step is having the clams purge. They have sand in their filtration system, and they have a little bit of sand when you're cleaning them and you're cutting out the guts and everything else. You can just wash it, it's not a big deal. But if you have time, you can soak them in water, either ocean water or some hose water, like what I did, and I added a bunch of sea salt to it, so that'll keep the clams alive, and then it'll cycle the sand out through their system. If you do have any clams that are open, if you give them a little tap and they're not closing, then those are dead. Don't worry about it, throw them away. It's not worth finding out about any kind of seafood poisoning and that kind of stuff. I can guarantee you that. So yeah, basically I think most of these are all closed. I threw one away earlier that was not closing up, but I don't usually have too much trouble with those. All these guys are shutting and closing. You want to give them about like 10 to 20 seconds when you're doing it to make sure that they're still alive, but that's basically how you verify that they're still alive. You don't want to eat any dead clams. So you can use any kind of thin knife. I like to use my Alaskan Ulu knife, but really anything that'll cut the abductors, which are on this side and on this side. They're two muscles that keep the clamshell closed, and then that's how they defend themselves. Basically, once you cut those, it'll release any tension, and then you're open to cleaning anything. So what I do is I find the crease right here. I sneak that little blade in. This one just happens to be crescent shaped like a clam, but really any knife, I mean a butter knife, anything will work. And I like to, because I was born and raised in Mexico, I like to save the tiger's milk, leche de tigre. I grab a little coffee filter. I put the coffee filter in a little mason jar funnel, and I put it over the mason jar, and that gives me a little container to be able to pour this stuff in. But right now it's still closed. When I crack it, it's going to release some juice. I give it one tap. You see how it's already dripping down. That can be used for ceviche, it can be used for chowder. It just adds a little extra clean, fishy taste to it. But basically, these are the mussels that we cut. This one and this one. That releases everything. Those actually taste like scallops. Then you also have the lips, and then you have the main body meat. So this is actually still juicing. So normally I will sit them on there and I'll let them release all their fluids, and then I'll keep cutting a couple other ones. So I'll be right back with you guys. Alright you guys, I'm going to run you through a quick little video on how I clean pismo clams. First, I'm going to grab my thumb and I'm going to run it on the side of the lip. Run it under the abductors. I'm losing a bunch of juice there, but I'm going to do the same on the other side. So now you got all this loose meat under your skin. I'm going to grab my knife. I'm going to cut the abductors, and that would be this muscle right here, this muscle right here, here, and here. So there's technically 2, but when you cut it down the middle, there's 4. So cut all 4 sides. Hopefully that showed up on camera, but now basically you have all this meat that's loose. So I'm going to pull the muscle and everything else on one side. I'm going to pull that out. I'm going to drop it on the table. Then I'm going to do the same with the other side. So you have no waste. You basically got a clean shell right there. And then I am going to try and get this on camera. Separate the lip, which is the part that runs along the shell, and one of the abductors from the rest of the body. So I have that. Now this is the siphon. You can see that little black part. Rule of thumb with clams, you always cut anything that's black off because that contains toxins. So can you eat it? Probably. Should you cut it off? Yes. So I'm going to cut the little tip right there. So there we go. I got the lip. I got 2 half abductors on each side. I'm going to save that. And now the other side of that same clam has the tongue that always sticks out, and then all this stuff. Now this is the stomach. I don't want to eat any of the stomach. Some people do. I don't like to. So I'm going to cut that at an angle, and I'm going to keep as much of that meat as I can on the tongue. So once I got the tongue, minus the stomach, that's all that's left. I might scrape a little of the meat off. You can tell what it is because it's mushy basically, and you can kind of see what it is. I don't want that. That's the stomach. I don't, some people eat it. I'm not starving, so I'm gonna throw that away. So I got the tongue, I got the lip, I got the abductors. That's only off of 1/2, so I'm gonna get twice that meat. I'm gonna go to the other side. Same thing. You can separate them manually. All I'm gonna cut off of this is that little black portion right here. Talk to 10 different people, ask them how they clean their clams, you're gonna get 10 different answers. But this is the cleanest, least wasteful way that I know. I mean, it is what it is. I've been doing this for a while. Same thing right here. I have the meat, and then I have the stomach. I'm gonna take that knife and I'm gonna cut it at an angle. This part is actually easier with a regular knife than the ulu knife, but The video already started, and I'm showing you the traditional native way. So anyways, I'm gonna do that 10 more times. Talk to you guys in a sec.
Para querer algo, para no verlo desaparecer. Y cuando mira hacia atrás, todo ya había cambiado. Las oportunidades perdidas se habían tomado otro lado. Las ausencias dejan huellas. Y las decisiones también. Nada permanece igual cuando se descuida lo que está bien. ¿Qué creías? Que todo seguiría igual, que el tiempo se detendría para verte regresar. ¿Qué creías? Que no iba a continuar, que mi mundo giraría alrededor de tu señal. La vida sigue avanzando como el río hacia el mar, y quien no cuida lo que tiene algún día lo verá pasar. Hay recuerdos que permanecen cuando se va la esperanza. Ya no queda nada, pero no fue en vano. Escuché que encontraste. Hay cosas que el dinero no compra, hay nombres que el tiempo no